The title, Atlases and Astronauts, actually is kind of a fusion of factors from different songs on the album. I wrote a lot of songs about travelling, particularly my journey from England to South Africa, and then also that feeling of being a bit of a nomad in your own land as well. And also the whole astronauts thing, feeling kind of like you're on a different plane sometimes to the one you're walking. And I always wanted something that would intrigue people, and people would have to kind of think, well, where did that come from? I didn't want an obvious title. Kieran and I met at a small little beach cafe gig in England in 2007, and we kind of got talking and liked each other's music. So then a couple of months later we played a gig together, and I think musically we just kind of clicked, so we began playing together a lot more frequently, and in the meantime got to know each other on a personal level, got to quite like each other, and then I eventually came out to South Africa and we got married in 2009, and we've been working together ever since. Heal Me is actually a song I wrote way back in 2005. I originally recorded a rough demo at a studio of my dad's friend in England, and that was kind of the first song I had a proper recording of, and I used to put it up on MySpace and all those other internet outlets and try and get everyone to listen to it, and actually it was kind of popular in its own way. It actually has come to be one of the most popular songs on the album, and definitely the most radio friendly. Well, my initial endeavours in songwriting were when I was knee-high. My dad had a little studio set up in our home, and he used to let me come and bash around on the keyboards and sing into the microphone. And then as I got older, it became a more serious part of my creative expression, and yeah, I guess when I was about 16, 17, I really started taking it seriously, and I really knew that that is what I want to do. That's what I feel like is the most important form of expression in my life, is to write songs, particularly lyrics. I'm a real lyrics person. I mean, the music aspect is also very important to me. I feel like melody is the first thing that will grab someone in a way, so that's definitely not something to be overlooked. But for me, I see myself mostly as a lyricist, or sometimes a random line will come out of nowhere, and then I start with that, and then I structure it all around that. And that's generally the process I go about. Usually I find that I have to do it all together at once. I can't write lyrics and then go and put music to it. Kieran really worked his magic with them, because he just transformed some of them into something completely new. He kind of injected a bit of new life into them, reinvented them in a sense. Songs like Key in the Lock and Heal Me and Home With You, there were songs that, whilst I had the kind of skeleton of them, the lyrics and the chords and the melody, you realise when you're creating an album that that's not purely what a song consists of. There's so much more, and that's where a producer's role really comes in. And Kieran really just took those elements that I had created and turned them into something new and something that I could really fall in love with all over again. Raise Your Glass is one of those songs that almost literally came to me in my sleep. I had the chords for a while, and I just could not think of anything to go with them, except for the one line. I had the one line, which is I see redemption, but it don't see me. I had that one line, and then the rest of the chords in my head for ages, and I remember going for cycle rides and walks, just trying to somehow figure out what the song was going to be about, and what the lyrics were going to be, what the story was going to be. And it just eluded me the whole time. And then one night, I was lying in bed at about 3 in the morning, wide awake, couldn't sleep, and the whole song just came to me in my head, just like a pebble in a pond. Caught in the Wire is really a song about spiritual struggles and what I like to call spiritual warfare. I actually had the title for the song first. I knew that I wanted to write a song called Caught in the Wire. It's almost like I had this vision of being caught in a load of barbed wire, and and I just wanted to write a song around that. And I got out my guitar and just started playing a few chords and singing that line over it, and just out of nowhere the rest of the chorus kind of came, and I realised that at the time when I was writing it, I was in a place kind of feeling like I was falling very short of what I could be achieving and could be doing with my life. And then I realised as I got to the end of the song and I had a last verse left to write, I realised that the mistake I was making was trying to do it on my own strength, and actually it's not about me and what I'm able to do on my own, but it's about letting God do His work through me. See, The Morning is one of those songs that I like to call a musical prayer, almost like a song. I basically picked up my guitar and started praying to melodies, and that's how that song came about. Move was almost a last-minute addition to the album, in the sense that we had all the other songs kind of laid down in scratch track form, and then I wrote Move at the last minute, and I was really keen to have it included. And so it took some very quick thinking on Kieran's part from a production point of view as to, how are we gonna work this song? What kind of a song is it gonna be? And to me it felt like the happiest song I'd ever written. And then a friend of ours, David Vermeulen, who's a great young blues harmonica player, came and made his contribution, which really added a nice kind of identity to the song. The songs are really songs that I have almost collected over the years. They weren't all written recently. Some of them were written recently and some were written a while back, so I had this collection of songs and I knew I wanted them to be on the album. Working with your spouse can be very challenging at times when you're pretty much locked in the studio together for hours on end, but in the long run it was actually great because we were able to be brutally honest with each other in a way that I don't think we would have necessarily been able to be if we weren't married. The artwork and design for the album was done by Warren Fleming of Pure Photography, and he initially offered to just take a few promotional snaps and that we could use for whatever purposes we needed, and a huge relief when Warren agreed to help us with that, and he really did a fantastic job.
Atlases and Astronauts is an album which basically is a collection of songs that Marley had written over her. It was a bit of a history, a bit of a snapshot of things she'd been through, things she'd seen, and just her experiences. So we wanted to make it accessible to people on a variety of levels. We didn't just want it to focus in on a specific demographic. And so we took the songs and we gave them a very contemporary feel within an adult contemporary genre with a focus on folk. There's a lot of slide guitar on the album. Like, in a sense, Marley is bearing her soul through these songs, and we didn't want layers and layers of production, layers of instruments kind of masking that. So it has within itself a very stripped down feel. But due to budget constraints, it fell upon me to mix it, and I had a very short time to mix it in, and so it was literally a case of sleeping on the studio floor for quite a few nights. We ended up with what I feel is a great sounding album, considering the time that it was taking to mix it, and it sounds great. The album cover looks great. Marley's performances were outstanding. That's something special in her voice, and and has the potential to be to go down in history, I think, as being a great vocalist in the league of Karen Carpenter and all those truly great singers, and certainly heads and shoulders above what's currently in the music scene today. So we just need people to realise it and buy the album.